So today's tutorial is about Christmas jewelry or necklace. You don't need any needle at all. You need only bead and thread to make this beautiful jewelry. Hello and welcome. On my table here I have pearls in green color. This one is green and this also pearl 8mm white. They are all in 8mm. Okay, so this is the pattern we are going to learn how to make today. I use blue for this one and white pearl for this, but they are all in 6mm. Okay, I use 6mm to make this one. It's a very beautiful design. So I'm going to represent this white with the 8mm and this one too with the 8mm, so you guys can see what I'm doing. I want to use a little big bead to make it. Here is my 25-pound beading line. Just look for line that can go through your bead, can go through 1 or 2 times. Okay, this is my little ply I'm going to use for cutting any thread. Okay, let me push this bead to one side and let's get started. So we are going to start with 4. We are going to bead in 4 flower beading. I'm stringing my bead on the line, 4 bead. Okay, so I'm going to hold one end of my line and go through the last bead and pull like this. This is 4 flower beading, so this is how it should look like. I'm adding one bead to each line and I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this bead and pull. This is the 3rd bead I'm taking, so I'm going to cross both ends of my line into it and pull just like this. Now we have 2 flowers. This is how it should look like. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing on each line, one bead on each line. Okay, I add one bead on each line and I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this 3rd bead and pull. So this one to make another flower. I'm going to repeat this one more time, one on each line. Okay, one bead on each line. Then I'm going to cross both ends of my line into the 3rd bead and pull like this. Now this is what we have. Okay, 1 2 3 4. We have 4 flowers. Okay, we have 4 flowers over here, so we are going to continue. This is 4. On this line I'm going to add 3 beads. So I add 3 beads to my line and I'm crossing my line into the bead and pull. So my line can turn to the side and allow me to continue my beading. So these 2 lines, I'm going to go straight to this direction. So I add one bead on each line again. Okay, so we are continue to do the flower beading, the 4 flower beading. So I crossing my line into the 3rd bead and pull like this. I'm adding one bead on each line again and I'm crossing my both ends into this bead and pull. On this line we are going to make 5. Okay, so one on each line and I'm crossing both ends of my line into the bead and pull. One, 2, 3, 4. So we are now 4 flowers. Okay, we have 4 flowers on this line. I'm going to add 3 beads. So add 3 beads to turn your line like this. We are turning over here. So I turn again. I'm going to add one on each side. So we're going to continue, okay, the same way. I'm adding bead to my line, 1 1 on my line, and I'm crossing both ends of my line into the third bead and pull. We are continuing with our 4-flower beading. I'm going to do one more, 1 2, okay, 1 2. So the third one we are going to turn. So this line, 3 bead. I'm going to turn over here. So this is where my line is, okay, my line, this is where my line turned to. We did 3 flower over here. This is 3. I'm going to continue. Now I'm going to continue with my green bead. So I'm adding 3 bead to my line. I'm adding 1 1 bead on each line. And I'm going to cross again with the third bead and pull like this. So I'm crossing my both lines into my third bead and I'm pulling down. Okay, this is how it should look like. This line, I'm adding 3 bead. Add 3 bead to the line. And now this is what we have over here. This line, both line, I'm going to add 1 1 bead on each line. And I'm going to cross both ends into this bead over here. So I'm crossing the first line, my right line, into it. Then I'm going to cross my left line too in the same bead. And I'm going to pull down. Like this. Now what we are going to do, I'm going to go to these 2 bead over here. So I'm pulling my right line into the bead, this one, okay, this bead over here, pull. I'm crossing this one too into the other bead, this one, pull it through and pull. So I'm crossing both of my line. This is where they are. This is where the line is. These 2 lines I'm going to cross in the middle bead. So I'm crossing both ends of my line into this one. Cross the first bead. And cross again. Okay, now that we cross our line in this bead like this is how it's supposed to look like. We are going to continue our beading. So this is the middle that we made over here, okay, and now we are going to continue to close it. I'm adding green 1 1 bead on each line, and I'm going to cross again with another bead. Pulling it down, okay, like this. This is something you should have. On this line, 3 bead. I added 3 bead to my left line, and I'm crossing with my right line and pull. That way my line can turn on the side for me to continue weaving. So from here, we are going to weave again. We are going to weave along. 1 1 bead on each line. I'm crossing again into the third bead and pull. I add another one bead on each line. Then I'm crossing my both ends into this one and pull. So now we have 3. We have 3 flowers over here. We now have to make 2 more to 10. So here I added another one, okay? Another one bead on each line. Then I'm crossing both ends of my line into this 3rd bead and pull. 1, 2, 3, 4. On this line, 3 bead. I'm crossing my right line into this bead and pull so my line can turn on the side. So here we are going to continue again, and we are doing the same thing. So repeat the same thing. You add one bead on each line and cross both ends of your line into the bead and pull. I'm going to repeat the same thing again. I'm adding 1 bead on each line, okay? Then I'm going to like this, and I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this one and pull. I'm repeating the same thing over here. I'm just crossing my line and pull. Now over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4. Okay. Now we make 4 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 flowers we make here. So from here, this line, 3 bead. Cross your right line into the left one, the last bead, and pull. I want you guys to make this necklace so bad. I want you to do it. Everybody should be proud of it. So this line, both line, I'm adding one green bead to it. Then I'm going to cross in this edge bead over here. I'm crossing both ends of my line into this bead. Then I'm going to pull. This is how the design is coming about. This is how it's looking like, okay? Now I'm going to go through this bead in the middle. I'm pulling my line through this bead over here and go through this bead. This is where my line is. I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this bead. Cross it in this bead, okay? The edge bead over here. And pull. Now we have to weave on, okay? So I add one on my line, and I'm crossing both ends of my line into this third one and pull. I'm going to repeat the same thing again. Add one bead on each line, then cross both ends of your line into the bead and pull. This line, 3 bead. I'm going to turn over here and weave on to meet the under end of to meet the end of the other piece. I'm going to weave on, okay, to meet this one over here. So one on each line. Cross both ends of your line into the bead and pull. I'm going to repeat the same thing again, the same way. I'm crossing both ends of my line in this one and I'm pulling down. This line, 1 bead. You add only one bead on each line. Then you cross both ends of your line into this edge bead and pull. Just cross both ends of your line and pull. You see, it came together, and this is the shape, this is the pattern we are looking for. Very beautiful shape. Let me show you the little one that I created. So here is the same thing that we made over here. I just use a big bead to show how the line is going through all the beads. So this is how it's looking like. Very beautiful. You can make only this one as a pendant for your necklace. It looks so beautiful too. Looks so beautiful. So from here, I'm just weaving the rest of the line into the bead, tie a little bit and weave the rest of the line into it and trim it off. That's all I'm doing over here. Very beautiful design. Very, very beautiful. So this is how it's looking like. This is our design. This is how it's looking like. So pretty, so beautiful. And I'm going to show you. So I made 3 of these, okay? These little ones, I make 3 and I use blue and white. So this one, so look at this pretty one. Very, very beautiful. This one, I use crystals to replace the bead. I use red over here and I use white crystals on the top too to make it look beautiful. So I'm going to show you how we are going to put these 3 pieces together and make it into a necklace. So let me show you how to join these pieces together, okay? We are going to put them together, and here's my line that I cut. I'm going to go through this edge bead. Going through the edge bead, and I'm going to add 1 bead to the line. I'm going to add 1 bead to my line, and I'm going to go through the edge bead of this piece too. So now I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this bead and pull. Now my line is going to go through this bead, okay? On each piece, I'm going to go through the next bead on each piece, the next bead, and I'm going to go through this one too. And I'm going to cross both ends of my line into 1 bead and pull. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to repeat the same thing on each piece. Go through the left and go through the right. Now add 1 bead, cross both ends of your line into the bead and pull. I'm going to go through the next bead on each piece, both on the opposite side. Cross both ends of your line into the bead and pull. Now this is the last one I'm going through. I'm going to go through the last bead over here too. And I'm crossing both ends of my line into the last bead over here. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Now we're done closing it. I'm just weaving the rest of the line into the bead to make it well secured enough before I trim it off. So that's what you do. Like this. This is how it's looking like. You put the 2 pieces together, and we are going to put the 3rd one too on it. Like this. This is how you join it. We're going to put the 3rd one too on the side and do the same thing. Close it like how we did for the first one. And this is how it's looking like. Look at how the design is looking like. Look at this pretty, beautiful Christmas necklace. So now I'm going to show you what we are going to do next, okay? Look at these crystals over here in the middle. The crystals make it very gorgeous. I have my thread over here. We are going to use 8mm to continue, and I'm using my clasp and my ring, my jump ring. Okay, so this is what you need to close the necklace. So here is my line I cut. This is a fresh new line I cut. I'm going to go to this bead over here, the edge bead. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to string 4 pearl bead, 6mm pearl over here. I'm going to string 4 of them on my line. I'm going to put 2 on each side of the line, like this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to tie. And I'm going to tie in the middle of these 2 pearls over here. I'm tying over here in the middle. Just tie neat and nice in the middle, okay? Pull like this. I'm tying again to make sure it's well strong and secure. So here I tie in the middle, and this is where my line is. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put these 2 lines together and then start stringing the bead on it. Let's string bead, okay? This 8mm, I'm just going to string on it. I'm just stringing this bead on it. So with this, I think I'm going to string like 25 on each line, okay? 25 pearls. I'm going to string 25. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need one more, only one more. Okay, 25 on this string, okay? So this is what I'm going to do over here. I'm going to open up my line again. So I'm going to open my line again like this. Then I'm going to string 4 pearls on it, 5 pearls. And I'm going to add my clasps to the line like this. Okay, I put 3 pearls on the left line, and the right line I put 2 and add the clasps. Over here I'm just gonna tie in between these 2 pearls over here. Tie neat and nice. Okay, you tie neat and nice. So I'm just going to pull my line through the bead on a string over here. I'm just going to pull it through all these pearls over here, down, tie again, and then trim it off. If you have a thick neck, you can measure this line, you can measure it on your neck, okay? Measure the necklace around your neck, see if it's long enough for you, or you need more bead to add to your string, okay? You measure it. It depends on your neck and what you like to. How you like your necklace to hang on your neck. So now that I'm done pulling the thread through my pearls, I'm just going to clip these ones over here, and I'm done. I'm done with the first side. This is how it's looking like. Okay, so beautiful. And now I'm going to continue to do the other side too. This we are going to repeat the same thing. We string the bead. So I'm going to string the bead. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. And here is my jump ring. Don't forget to put the jump ring on the other one, and did the same thing we did for the first one. And this is how it's looking like. Very beautiful. The necklace is done. Very pretty party necklace, Christmas necklace. You are done. It's very simple. This shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to do. This is so pretty and beautiful. Very, very simple, elegant, and beautiful, and it's very useful too. Let me close it for you guys to see. So you open your clasp and then hook it on your ring like this. With this necklace, you don't need needle, you only need your thread and your bead, and that's all you need to make this beautiful necklace. Look at how pretty it looks like. Very, very beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also share my video to friends and loved ones. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.